Hi, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a very interesting topic. The topic of today is there's no light in not being able to defend yourself. And this is extremely interesting and extremely powerful as a topic to teach because let's just say I see some light workers online and what I see is bad, very, very bad. People are like, well, and I talked about this to someone before I actually made this video. And the thing is, when it comes to defending your light, other people can try to put it out, and that's why it grows stronger, because you're adaptable. You're able to flash the light and grow and expand to the point where other people can't tamper with your light, but people can try to put your light out. I'm going to give you an example. If someone's trying to tamper with your relationship, saying if you're in a twin flame relationship, they can put one twin flame out, and they can put both twin flames out. Basically, the relationship gets affected, and then there's no more relationship, okay? Now, what's another example? Well, if you have, let's just say you have beautiful land, right? But you don't believe in defending it because defending is not, it's not good, etc. You have to defend your land in order to keep your land. Same thing in nature. If a lion cub if a lion and its mother don't claw back, something as simple as a bird can attack and take a lion cub. A big bird can come along and just take lion cub. If you don't believe that, watch some nature documentaries, because there has been cases where some birds of prey are actually really birds of prey. That's why they call them birds of prey. But what am I talking about in this video? I'm talking about people of light who want to be the highest version of themselves have to defend themselves. And how do you do? How can you be of light and defend yourself? Well, what does Archangel Michael look like he's doing in the background? He's putting down the devil. Oh, that's mean. You can't put down the devil. Do you know what the devil does when he was on the loose, or still on the loose on the earth now, but still to an extent? But certain people, the devil will be on the loose too, but certain people of God will not be. It's a really interesting topic, because some people online, like I said, light workers are like, well, when someone curses me, I transmute it to love and light. And I'm like, well, that ain't right, okay? Because I've seen... and start typing in light workers online, because you'll start typing in light workers. What's the difference between myself, who's a light worker, and other people who are light workers versus myself? Because calling yourself a light worker, no, I'm not a light worker. I just channel light, like just pure light, blinding light, healing light, defensive light, etc. And I'm an angelologist as well, a person who moves other people closer to God, and people who help just other people create a chain of just light. One candle will ignite the next, and then several candles will be lit. So people watching my videos will be able to help so many more people. But you have to understand what you can do and what you can't do. The dark aspect of it, the bad aspect is, well, I'm a person of light, and if someone's trying to mess with me, I have to curse them. Well, ask yourself, do blessings and cursings, well, I guess when people bless and when people curse, does that fit in the same bubble? Can an angel hang out with a demon? An actual angel, can it vibe with a demon? No, they can't vibe with each other. They can barely perceive each other, and they only can kind of pick out things about each other, like, oh, it's around, okay. So, in essence, you have to know what you can and can't do. The one thing you can do as a person of light, as a person who works with angels, as a person who likes to help other people, is defend people who actually need defending. So for spiritual people, what happens when you're under spiritual attack? You aggressively send it back, and it does not take much. What do I mean you aggressively send it back? You don't and curse the person out. No, let them be with their own curses by themselves, because that person's going to self-destruct. They have a pile of grenades, aka curses, and they're throwing them at you. But if you try to figure out, figure out their grenade, or try to throw back an additional grenade, it's gonna go off on you and it's gonna go off on them. But if you just send back their grenade and they have a pile of grenades, it's gonna go off on them, and they're gonna think that you cursed them, and they're gonna keep trying, and they're just gonna cancel themselves out. So when it comes to defending your light, and yes, you must defend your light. What do you do most importantly, guys? What's the most important thing to do when you're under spiritual attack? Turn to God. Give it to Him. Give your enemy, and there's so many verses from the Bible talking about the Bible talking about God is the one who's going to be the judge in the end when it comes to your enemies. Let him do the judgment. Let him take care of it. In the meantime, come up with mechanisms. God made so many different crystals, essences, herbs, etc. for you guys to use, because some of them are so simple as to the point where all you have to do is just cleanse with it, and you don't even know that the cleanse is actually sending it back. Wow. So any kind of dark energy someone's sending towards you, you just send it back, because it's not yours. When you send it back, you claim that it's not your energy and you don't want to deal with it. But what else? What can you defend? How can you systematically defend yourself? Number 1, give it to God. Number 2, put your shield up. I like to call it a defensive shield. Basically, a porcupine, if you know anything about the aspect of a porcupine, they're friendly. They don't want to be bothered. Like, they just like having fun. They're very playful. They're very sweet animals. But they can actually take down a lion. How is that? It's because they'll turn their back to the lion, but their back is quills. And it has a defensive mechanism where it kind of like, you'll hear it go brush, brush, brush. And the lion, if it keeps trying to kill the porcupine, or trying to make a meal out of the porcupine, which it has other meals, but if it's desperate, which some of your enemies are desperate to make a meal out of you and try to get some energy from you, you turn your back to them, but you put up your quills. You put up your crystals. You put up your essences. And I'm going to teach some defensive crystals in this video. So, yeah, you defend yourself. What happens? Well, and some people are like, well, it's mean for the porcupine to have the quills. The quills are they're kind of mean. I mean, if that porcupine didn't have the quills, and the lion wouldn't have died and gotten pricked so many times. Well, the lion, in order for the lion to die from getting pricked by a porcupine, it has to try multiple times. The porcupine does not like doing that. The porcupine does not like defending itself like that. It's like, I'd rather be doing something else. The porcupine could be they can go home and make a family, or pick food and whatever porcupines do, but instead they have to be like, oh great, this thing's trying to attack me, and it just turns its back, and the thing will keep, and you'll see it. Watch videos online. Watch Nat Geo about just what happens to some of these lions when they go after the porcupines. The same thing applies to you spiritually. All you do is put your back to your enemies and make your back defensive. Make your shield defensive. So let me start off by a crystal. The most defensive crystal ever that sends it back. The most defensive crystal ever that also sends it back, but not as nearly sends it back as the next crystal that I'm about to name, which I've talked about several times, is black tourmaline. You can get yours from floridastoneman.com, but the thing about black tourmaline is it stops things from getting in, because it stops it like 5G doesn't get in. What do I mean by that? It puts up a barrier, and anything that does get in, it sponges into the stone to be released. Now, what's an aggressive crystal for sending back negative energy? Because sometimes people just don't learn. It's like, when someone gets defeated trying to go after you, they're going to try harder and harder and harder until they're exhausted, because they're just burned, just flat out burned. So they're going to use all their energy and their power to go after you until they're canceled out. What's a crystal that you can use so you don't have to put any energy into defending yourself? After you pray, after you talk to God, and make sure you're being a good person too. If you engage in anything they're doing, you're on their karma level, okay? Mexican fire agate is such a vicious return to sender crystal. It takes all the energy that person's doing with you. The attacks they're sending you, all this, the most malicious things. The person can be killing as many chickens, anything they want to do on you. Because I live near Miami. When people are mad at you, they're like, chicken. Yeah. But when you're wearing Mexican fire agate, or when you have that crystal essence on you, woo, it literally, you can call it that. You can call Mexican fire agate a swapper crystal as well. The energy that got sacrificed in the chicken automatically swaps that with them. So, their sacrifices on themselves, and all the energy they ever tried to put towards you just goes back to themselves, and it doesn't go away. It's like a fire, it's a fire that can't be put out until their actions prove that they're being a better person. So it's a fire that basically burns the person, their energy, their aura, their karma, everything is just ablaze. Like, their whole life gets so crazy, and if they try again, it gets so crazy until that person just stops. If they stop sending you negative energy, if they stop being hateful towards other people, because if they're sending you negative energy, they're sending other people negative energy as well. This is something you have to know, because I've seen people in the past, and some people who are, you might as well just be at fault, because if you know how to defend people, but you choose not to, like, I'm a transmute it to love and light, because I see these people online, they're the most ridiculous people ever. Like, I take that curse and I pass it through my chakras and I transmute it to light. Okay, have fun with that, but you know what? I mean, don't ask why you have bad luck after that. People, I don't know what people are thinking when they do that, but those people are actually so far behind in life, and they can't put the two and two together. They can't be like, oh, I've been trying to transmute that energy the whole time, and that's why I have no energy. And those people become the worst energy vampires ever. They can't get ahead. They're not, the blessings aren't there because they're trying to put up with energy that's not theirs. So what do? Say, just acknowledge that someone's trying to send you negative energy. Then acknowledge that God's going to take care of it. Use the crystals that add the quills to your shield, like the porcupine swish, and just brush it off. Like the porcupine brushes the quill off. It's like, oh, one of the quills broke, whatever. It's just going to get replaced, whatever. And that person won't even be able to affect you. So black tourmaline, Mexican fire agate. What if the aura in your house is very thick? It feels like there's attack energies in your home. Burn, agrimony, and stinging nettle. And cloves. This, you can, agrimony is an herb, stinging nettle is an herb, cloves is an herb. You mix them together. You burn those in your house. You don't have enemies. Like, you don't. They're dropping like flies, and they're wondering what's going on. They think someone's cursing them because their own energy's hitting them so hard. So, and I've made past videos about what's it mean to defend your light. It means to not be defenseless. The thing about this is, and this is what I talked about to someone about, is that when you are not able to defend what's yours, it puts you in a very not of light place. So it makes you very desperate if everything's taken from you, if you're just hitting the ground, and it puts you closer to darkness than it does to light. So there's absolutely zero light in being completely defenseless. You're not, and this, I'm going to use this quote as well, you're not a peaceful person if you can't defend your peace. You're just harmless. You can't. There's nothing peaceful about someone who can't keep peace. You're not a peace bringer if you can't bring peace. What is bringing peace, what does that contain? It means standing up. Because I'm going to tell you from what I've seen in the past from people who love to like transmute love and light, because those people are like jiggy with it and nothing's going their way and their entire families are being affected. So I've seen in scenarios in the past where people try to transmute the love and light, and I do this because these people are like, well, I'm transmuting it, and they make some stuff up in their head that, I mean, it's not working for them. And what happens when someone does black magic on a person who's like transmuting the energy versus just sending it back? It goes to their children, it goes to their mothers and fathers and grandfathers and whoever they live with, because when a dark entity and a dark energy is looking for a way to get to you, it's smelling your spiritual DNA, which goes down your bloodline. Okay? So your family will be impacted, and if you're not impacted and you're not defending yourself or defending your family, it's going to impact them. So how much of that transmuted to love and light is of light now that you can't defend yourself or defend your family? Now it's dark, and now that they're getting in a darker place, and you're getting in a darker place because circumstances are changing, not in your favor because you couldn't defend yourself. So that's what it comes back to. What does Saint Michael what does Saint Michael the Archangel look like he's doing in the background? Slaying the enemy. If the enemy wasn't slain, imagine what else would happen. And there's very specific stories in the Bible as well. So people are like, oh, why does God destroy certain kingdoms and cities? And read there's specific passages about that, which I'll talk very specifically about in the future. But there's no balance without defending. God will defend his people. That's why when you go to God and you ask him for help, he will defend you. But you make sure you're doing everything right. If you're on the wrong track, you're going to get the same punishment they are. Until you stop being on the wrong track. I mean, what does being on the wrong track consist of? We're presented with little tiny tests every single day. Sometimes you will be walking through a grocery store, and this actually happened to me. Some woman just dropped her wallet and a bunch of money poured out. This is when I was young. Like, this is when I was in high school. And money just poured out of her wallet. I'm like, I looked around, I'm like, looking for the cameras. I'm like, am I on a game show? This is ridiculous. Like, and just hundreds and 50s started pouring out her wallet. And I'm like, am I on a game show? And she's walking through the store. I quickly grab it and pick it up because these people around are just kind of looking like vultures immediately. I did not hesitate. And I'm like, hey, ma'am. Hey, ma'am. Hey, ma'am. Like, you dropped this. She's like, oh, thank you. And she put it back in her wallet. And most people expect something for doing a good deed, right? No, she didn't give anything out of her wallet to me, which was fine. But guess what? That next week, I actually got the biggest, what's it called, upgrade of my life after that, and obtaining some of the world's rarest gemstones, and that got me deeper into my business. So some people look at it as very transactional. So everything is full of tests. So when people are like, well, and don't expect, I'll make videos about that in the future, but when you do something good for someone else, you never expect a thank you. You don't. Some people get mad because they'll do really good things. I've picked up weights on people that people have dropped on themselves in the gym and then disappeared because I don't want to be I'm not there to like receive a thank you. Like, oh, I'm the hero. No. It's you do things of light, but you just know that what you did is right. So that's it. You don't have to show that, because people will make videos online like, oh, look at me helping the homeless. And then they'll turn the camera off and they'll be the worst person ever on some other podcast. Like, But that's for a future video. When it comes to defending what's yours, defend it with light, because there's certain things that, and I'll make more videos in the future talking about what people of light do, because some people mix it up like, oh, I have to curse this person because they're trying to mess with my family. No. You'll be in a place of curses if you're putting out curses, especially even if you're just cursing with your mouth. I made videos about that. I mean, don't contaminate your energy with their shadows, or you're picking up their shadows and their karma. Okay? To be a person of light, move yourself closer to God, wear the crystals, burn the essences that God has put on the earth for us to use, defend yourself, and you'll be like one of those porcupines. They'll walk away and like they'll just kind of be like, at the most, inconvenienced. But they're walking away with their life, and the lion who is very desperate trying to get them, like some of your enemies, are reeling. Like they're pulling the watch the videos, guys, on Nat Geo. They're pulling the quills out of their paws, and they can't seem to do it because they're reeling so bad because they tried so many times with the wrong target. When you're of God and someone's trying you and trying to be your enemy, they pick the wrong target, okay? And they will find out very quickly. If they don't, then they'll find out even harder. But as a person of light, there is, in teaching people to move closer to the highest version of themselves, you have to keep in mind, you must defend what's yours, and that's how you obtain peace. So don't ever feel bad when you send something back, okay? I hope this video has helped you guys. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!